Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to D-Dub. Today on the channel, I want to talk about Animal Crossing and Animal Crossing for the Switch and what I want to see in Animal Crossing for the Switch. So to give you a little bit of background, I haven't really ever played too much Animal Crossing. I don't really recall anybody having it for the GameCube. I don't really remember it back in the day, like back when it first came out. It was just something that was just off my radar. I never saw it, never knew anything about it until way later, like maybe during the Wii, which I didn't own a Wii, one of my friends did, but I never played Animal Crossing. You know, I kind of saw it here and there, never really was something that I thought I'd be into by the time I actually started playing it, which I have actually just started playing it just right at the beginning of this year, or I should say the end of last year. I bought Animal Crossing New Leaf for my DS from a local GameStop, and I had opened up the person's town, whoever's it was, and I didn't really know what was going on with the game, so I played a little bit of that, tried to just get my bearings in it, and then I finally deleted it and started my own town. And I probably played that for around maybe 8 hours, I think was my total playtime on just the New Leaf, not the New Leaf Welcome Amiibo cart that I got. At least that's what it says on my DS. And I didn't really know what I was doing in the game. I would pick it up, I would turn it on for maybe like 10-15 minutes at a time and just kind of shake some trees, you know, go over to the store, sell some stuff. I'd obviously bought the first house and maybe I think even the second house, but I didn't really know what was going on. I just played it very, very, very casually, and it just seemed like it wasn't for me. So I finally I ended up trading it back with a bunch of other stuff, and I didn't really think anything about it. And then at the start of the year, I started seeing more videos and hearing more hype coming up for the Switch. So I decided that, you know, this is something that I actually want to get into. So I started looking at, because initially I just really wanted to play like the GameCube game, and I looked at it online. I still haven't bought it yet, but I plan on buying it. So I bought New Leaf again, and I started playing that for, at this point now, I've been playing for like 100 hours just over the past maybe 8 weeks or so, because I got it mid-January. So I've finally put my hours into it. And since then, I've actually put time into Animal Crossing. I bought Wild World on the Wii U, which was for the DS, so I've been playing that on the Virtual Console and just playing that just on the tablet. It looks choppy. The emulation's, you know, it's not bad. It doesn't look 100% compared to, obviously, you know, the DS. And then I've also bought Animal Crossing City Folk, and I've only probably played that for about maybe like 6 or 8 hours, so I'm still a newbie in the world of Animal Crossing, but I've just been loving New Leaf every day that I turn it on, and I only mean to play for, you know, maybe a half hour, but it ends up just eating up so much of my time, like at least a good 2 hours, and it just ends up sucking up my time, and I'm playing this thing till like sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning, and so I'm just like everyone else, and I'm just ever so excited for the Nintendo Switch version. So I've been watching a little bit of videos and, you know, seeing some other articles about what people want for the new Animal Crossing. Some people just want the old stuff that was on the GameCube. People say that it's the most wittiest and the most non-sterile and kind of just the most love put into it for it being the first in the series before obviously success and, you know, 10 or 15 years later, where people feel that the villagers and stuff have gotten a little bit less rude and a little more kid-friendly, and that the whole kind of game and focus is a little bit more towards kids, and not so much just kids, that it's not for adults, but that there's just a tinge more of, you know, actual appeal towards kids. And so, like I said, I've never actually played the original, but I plan on it. But I've just been playing New Leaf, and I've got about 100 hours. Anyways, I've been watching these videos and seeing the things that people want, and I've been seeing these lists, and so I thought I would share my list. So the things that I want in Animal Crossing are going to be, number one, just a better inventory, because, you know, initially you only have like 16 slots, and then when you only have 16 slots, so when you have your fishing pole, and then your axe, and your watering can, or your silver watering can, or whatever, an upgraded axe, and another fishing pole, you only really have maybe like 10 or a dozen slots to work with. And so it's a little bit to your detriment at times where you're going over here and you're shaking trees and you're getting apples, and then you come over here and then you found a lost item, and then someone wants you to deliver this, and then all of a sudden you just can't carry anything more. So then you have to go, like in the case of New Leaf, you're going to like your home or the locker at the train station or to the store, offload the stuff, go back down to, you know, the ocean and the boat and the basket, and take out, you know, another 20% of the things that you actually just got from the island, put them back in one by one, run up to the store. It's just a little bit of a hassle. So one of the things that I would like is just a better inventory system all around. Maybe you just have your regular inventory, and then at some point you could get like a backpack or a satchel or a fanny pack or whatever, just something with additional spaces that comes a little bit later along with the amount of time that you're actually grinding into the game. And I think that that would just be something really beneficial, just having a better inventory and more slots to put more items in altogether. So number 2, and mind you, these aren't really in any particular order, I've just sort of written them down in this notebook here, so I'm just sharing them with you. And I wanted to do the face cam so that you could see who I am and invite you to my channel. So please, if this is your first time on the channel, I'm pretty new to YouTube. I've only been doing it for about 3 weeks, so if you would like to hit subscribe, you know, when the new Animal Crossing comes out, I will be live streaming that. I will be live streaming several other games, so I would just like to personally invite you into my village. So please subscribe, hit the like button, share this with a friend if you would like. You know, thank you very much. Number 2 is just a better online, easier friend interaction, and better trading, and maybe an online messaging board, or your villager or your friends can maybe have like a tablet or a phone or access to a computer, or maybe a library where you can send emails or texts from a device of some sort instead of maybe or alongside of mailing letters and stuff like that. Just trying to update it and make it a little bit more for today, a little bit more for today's standards, instead of writing letters and having to pull the paper out and then type it and then go to the post office. Maybe you can just send a text, or, you know, something like that replaces the megaphone where you can just send a text to one of your villagers. Or even for online, if you have people coming to your village or your gate is open or whatever, where you can send a sort of group message to a selected group of people that you choose. Now, I don't think this is really going to happen, given that Nintendo's online and their online structure is kind of barren and desolate in terms of friend codes and trying to actually interact with the friends that you have on your Nintendo Switch. They've kind of placed several things and barriers in the way that I don't really see that happening, but, you know, one can only hope for that. So number 3 is just a bigger main street, more stores, and maybe the ability to open your own store. So with something like New Leaf, you obviously have your small main street with several buildings, and at first you don't know what's going to be there, and obviously over time you end up with like 8 or 10 different things, from, you know, the dream suite and the hair salon to the shoe store, clothes store, you know, the music venue. So hopefully just a main street, or maybe a couple of main streets, or several main street and then like a sub-main street district like on the other side of town. Or maybe there's just more streets and more in between, like loading screens. Or maybe not on the Nintendo Switch, maybe there won't be as many loading screens, but just more option for more building. And along with a bigger main street, maybe the option to open your own store and open it where you want. Maybe there's several storefronts that you can actually choose from, and that you can work with Tom Nook or Isabel or whoever is going to be in charge, if you're in charge, if you're the mayor, what have you, and you can just have your own store with your own goods in it, for both online trading and for selling stuff, you know, having like your little auction house. So that's just one idea. And then I also have here a forest outside of town, kind of with like a hidden area Or, I've tried to make these kind of my own, as I've seen online many other people putting their own spin on things. So I've tried to just make it my own. Like I saw one person say, like, maybe in winter, an avalanche comes and opens up a secret cave where you can then go in and find animals to battle to upgrade certain stuff, which I don't think there's going to be any battling per se, but I suppose if they added like an RPG element to that, like something in a forest where it's kind of just a simple old school Zelda kind of like swing a sword and maybe you win something, but that's going a little bit too far, I feel. A forest outside of a town with maybe some hidden areas, maybe some hidden holes or something you dig up, or if you chop down a certain tree, maybe there's like a little staircase that leads to a secret person. So not just the main set of trees like in your town, but actually like a side forest of some sort. So guys, the next one that I have on the list is a town expansion instead of just house expansion. So that the idea is that as you build up your money, as you start opening things up, that you have some sort of like notoriety system where you kind of don't just do public works projects, but that you also have the ability to expand the town. So maybe you can add more land, like if in this new one, if you're still on an island and there's like an ocean line, maybe you can expand your land outward. Maybe you can expand your land going backwards and having like the main street pushed back, or some kind of ability like that to add land, or a pier, or like a shopping area that's just made of regular dirt, which is kind of just goes without saying, but a chance to not just expand just your house, but the town as well, just in general. The next one is, instead of just NES games, that maybe there's some sort of compatibility with a 3DS, or you could play smaller games like from New Leaf, but maybe there's several that have, different uses, like instead of the pedometer where you get the play coins and pay for stuff like the fortune cookies in the shop, maybe you do some of these smaller games that would be on like in the game, like on the 3DS or on the Wii U, kind of like with New Leaf on the Wii U, you have the mini game that you play. So maybe something like that where you earn like a play coins type of credit is basically what I was going for with that. Okay, also here I have Switch screenshot utilization for arts and patterns. So just screenshots that you can use from other games, like things like Mario or Zelda, and you could actually just go to the store and have that framed and put up on your wall. Something simple but effective, I think. A greenhouse for ordering plants, which kind of goes without saying. Maybe there's a greenhouse with, instead of just kind of like a New Leaf, like you have like the greenhouse store, but something bigger where there's, several aisles of things that come and go and change with the seasons, just a greenhouse. The next one is that if, just like a New Leaf, you have the ability to go to an island, that in this new one there would be several smaller islands or villages or other new areas to boat, walk, bus, taxi to, maybe fly to them. So just several new areas that aren't the mainland, aren't off the ocean, and aren't just the main boat trip that you take going to the island. And the next one that I have is more differentiated morning, late morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon, night cycles. And I just mean in terms of what goes on at those times and a little bit more significance put on those time periods. So at noon, something happens, it's lunchtime, there's certain types of bugs out and birds or whatever new, I don't know if they're going to add new types of animals and things that you can sell and catch just straight up like that, but if there was that, you would find different stuff just right even around your house from morning to noon to mid-evening to night, so that you have to actually kind of plot a little bit more, so that when your encyclopedia starts getting a little bit more filled up, you have to be a little bit more strategic about what you catch, what time, and actually have to look at your encyclopedia and kind of look at the data and the times and stuff to actually finish filling it out, versus it just being just by doing it repeatedly and just having the dumb luck of filling it out. So I took that avalanche idea in winter and just basically applied it to all things, that seasons would actually have and do different things, like in real life, where if you can fly to an island, or if you can fly to a small, if we're talking about a tropical island and there's several dozen, maybe small little islands where there's different things here and different things there, and this piece of land is a little bit bigger and this one is just a tiny little piece of land, that during the seasons you won't be able to do certain things, and that the weather in those seasons affect what you can do, just like in real life, and at what times. That maybe during a snowstorm you can't go here because there's too much snow. Maybe you can't take the bus here because there's too much snow. Maybe you can't fly during a snowstorm. Something just along that point. I don't really have anything more than that, but that's just something that I would like to see. Another one that I have is that when you actually start the game and you're being asked the questions, and those kind of affect like how you look and your physique and all that, that there would be sort of just a main question that just asks, how old are you? Like, how old do you want your villager to be? And that would be sort of like an age put that reflects the villagers' behavior. So if you are a kid and you're 10 years old, your villagers will act according to that, and they will be mostly friendly unless you go smacking them in the head with the net. But that if you're an adult and you type in something older, you have, at least as far as I've read and seen a little bit of, you have more snarkier and a little bit more humorous and not so kid-friendly dialogue between the villagers, if you're an adult and you happen to choose that as your setting, if you wish to do so. One of the other things I want to see is just a preview panel for clothes, hats, furniture, etc., because it gets kind of old where you find a leaf and it's a piece of furniture on the ground and you can see what its name is, but you can't just set it on the ground. You can't just see what it is. You will only know what it actually is if you have plenty of experience playing this, if you actually know what this piece of furniture is, instead of having to run all the way back to your house just to set it down, just so you can see what it actually is. So having a preview panel down in your menu where when you select through different furniture and things of that nature, not necessarily clothes because you can obviously just try those on, but any type of furniture, any type of prop or collectible or Mario block or whatever the case, that you can just see in your little preview panel or up above or in your inventory or whatever it is, that a 3D model of it will pop up and just spin, and you'll just be able to see it nice and easy without having to run all the way back to your house. The next one is making patterns more usable for just everything, and for your other villagers and houses, and for maybe your neighbor's flags, so that your patterns can be used by more of the villagers in more uses, in more scenarios. You can make a pattern and have it be hanging from your neighbor's flagpole. Another one is a porch added to your house where you can just hang out, so that your house can have a cool porch with outdoor furniture, and just in general for outdoor furniture, that maybe instead of the preview panel, you can just set a piece of furniture outside, because you can't do that. You set it down and it's a leaf, and that makes no sense. If you have a couch in your pocket, which I don't, but maybe you do, if you don't want to go running all the way home to pull your couch out of your pocket just to see what it is, because when you pull it out of your pocket, it's in your hand and it's a leaf, you can just set it on the ground and just see what the furniture is and just see what it is without having to go all the way back. In that, year-round, you can have furniture outside. Even if it's snowing, maybe your porch has snow all over it, and because of that, your seats and your chairs have snow on them, and you can't actually sit on them because they're covered in snow. One more is a beach area that you can go to or maintain or be the lifeguard or the maintainer of. So you have a beach, and then you can build a path, or maybe a mini game, like maybe just a volleyball court or a handball court or something like that, where you can build up the fences and just go down to the beach and throw your blanket down, and you can have your lifeguard seats set in a row, and just a nice place where your villagers can go to, which hopefully, if your city is bigger, if your town is bigger, if you're able to have more than, I don't even know what the max of villagers you can have in a town. I think it's like 10 or 12, but if you can have 30 villagers and your town is actually significantly bigger than in previous games, that you will see many villagers down at the beach just hanging out that you help create and help clean and help decorate and help set up. So one of the other things that I would like is, like I said, along with the class system, is not just the ability to just start the game and just be handed over. So one of the other things that I want is, like in all the other games, where you're just handed your position, or in the case of New Leaf, where you're just handed being mayor, that you don't start off that way, and you don't just go and plant a couple flowers for Tom Nook and then all of a sudden you are just like the mayor. It should be a progressive thing. So maybe there's several different paths. So if you don't want to be mayor, you don't have to be mayor. If you want to be mayor, you're not just handed being the mayor from the start. You actually work up towards it. So you're this new person in town and nobody knows you, nobody trusts you. You have to build up some sort of notoriety or points or the favoritism with the villagers and your village, and actually build that up into something to where other people approve of you and other people like you and trust you, kind of like in real life. You wouldn't just have some guy from the other side of the world who might not even understand you, or you don't know what kind of person he is. You're not just going to elect him to come and be the mayor of your town. So same kind of thing applies here. You have to work for your notoriety. You have to build what you want to become, and maybe there's several different set paths or several different options to where you can choose not to be mayor if you don't want to, or you can if you do. And just one of the last things that I have here is just an online store, auction house / store with no real money, no microtransactions, no anything like that. But if there are play coins and you do utilize like mini games to replace, in the instance of New Leaf and the 3DS, the pedometer, where you actually take your 3DS for a walk and you get the play coins. Instead, if you have these mini games or notoriety points or skill points, whatever you want to call them, some form of money that's not just Leafs, but an additional thing that there will be, or even with Leafs, that's fine too, but just some sort of online store with no real money, no microtransactions. You can utilize the online, you can have other friends that have either just, they're getting rid of stuff, they're getting rid of furniture, they have patterns that they want to sell, they have hats that they want to sell, they have patterns that they've made for wallpaper that they want to sell. Just in general, just an online store that you can go to and go look through lists of stuff, or if you're friends with certain people, you can see what they've put in the store. Maybe it's just like an Animal Crossing eBay kind of thing. So that's just my idea on that. So anyways, guys, I don't really have too much more to go with this, as like I said, I'm an Animal Crossing kind of noob, but it's getting its claws in me and I'm becoming a little bit more hardcore. So what do you guys think? What do you guys want to see in Animal Crossing Switch? And when do you think it's coming out? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. When Animal Crossing does come out, I will be doing plenty of content on that, plenty of videos, maybe some tutorial and how-tos. Like, I'm going to be really diving deep, and I'm going to be doing live streams as well. So hit the like button, subscribe, share if you would like, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.